Hi, I'm Dr. Blair Masters with AccuSmart. And if you remember from some of my previous videos, then you'll remember the triad of health has to do with 6 factors that seriously can have a negative or positive effect on your health. Acupuncture, your acupuncture system, electrical system in the body, toxins that you can get from your air and your water and your food, nutrition, allergies, emotion, and structure. A little more detail on these. This would have to do with what you eat, what you drink, hormones, infections, and prescriptions. Over here we have internal toxins, toxins that your body makes, and then ones that come from the outside. Read your labels, that really helps. Your acupuncture system, as I said, is kind of an electrical system of control and coordination that if it's not working right, it can throw things off. Your structure has to do with the bones and the joints, tendons, ligaments, so on. And then emotional, spiritual, conscious, subconscious emotions that can seriously have a negative effect or positive effect, both, either one. And obviously, we want things to have a positive effect. And then allergies and sensitivities. One of the things that we want to do when you're dealing with your health, if we're thinking of the triad, we want to expand and make the area under the triangle larger, basically like almost like a buffer, if you can think about it that way. And there's a lot of different ways that people tend to do this. One of the main ways that people look at doing this is, hey, I'm going to change my diet. I'm going to improve my diet. I'm going to make things better. And in doing so, this side you can see is a little bit longer than the others. Maybe they focus on this, but they're not necessarily focusing on structure like exercise and that sort of thing. They're not necessarily focusing on emotions, that sort of thing, but they're focusing on nutrition. Now, when you positively affect your nutrition, it can significantly increase the amount of space, the amount of energy, the amount of health that you have within your triangle. Awesome. That's what we want. Although you shouldn't ignore the other sides of the triangle. Some other things people do is focus on structure. I'm going to start an exercise program. I'm going to start working on really getting out there and burning some calories, getting off the couch, that sort of thing. And you can see that side of the triangle has gotten larger and again increases the amount of health you have within the triangle. Great. If you're doing both of these things, you can imagine it gets even larger. So really, really good. Focusing on your emotions, even bigger. Here is one of the things that a lot of people do that is a real problem, and that is, oh, I have a health problem, and it might be something minor. Oh, I have a headache. I'm going to take a Tylenol. I'm going to take an ibuprofen. I'm going to go get a prescription from my medical doctor and try to rely on that to become healthy. But nutrition, I like what I eat. Exercise, I don't want to get off the couch, that sort of thing. So they rely on this to try to carry the burden of their health. But if you read anything, any kind of prescription medication pamphlets or information, or look up side effects online, you'll see these things have an overall negative effect on your health. They may help your headaches, they may help your arthritis, they may help your stomach pain, but in general, they are taking away from your health. Now, I like to pick on prescriptions because it's something a lot of people rely on, but you can also be in a situation where, oh, I eat way too much sugar and that takes my health away. Less amount of health within inside the triangle. I drink too much soda pop, same thing. I rely on fast foods for a majority of my diet, same thing. All of these things are going to take away from your health. Now, if you'll remember rightly, this side, nutrition side, has to do with what you eat, what you drink, hormones, and Dopamine, it's not really a hormone, it's more of a neurotransmitter, but dopamine is one of those things that I kind of throw in that category. But if you're addicted to video games, you're addicted to online social media, you're addicted to clicks and likes and or watching videos on YouTube or whatever, a dopamine addiction can have a similar effect on your health as some of these other things in the long run. And you can get a dopamine addiction from that, from online stuff or your computer, or you can get it from foods that you eat as well. There's lots of different ways to get dopamine addiction. There's a great book out there called The Hacking of the American Mind if you want to get more information on that one. But that's not the only thing that can have a negative effect on you. Another thing that can have a negative effect, back over here, is emotions, negative emotions. If you're experiencing negative emotions on a regular basis, it can be just as detrimental to your health as some of these other things like eating too much sugar. Chronic negativity, resentment, hatred toward other people or toward things, toward yourself even. Oh, that's really hard on you. Entitlement, not forgiving. If you are unforgiving, particularly of yourself, oh, I've done horrible things in the past, I can't forgive myself. You carry around that burden, and it can have a serious negative effect on your health in so many ways. It can really cut down the amount of health that you have within the triangle. And obviously, we're no longer dealing with the triangle here. And eventually, these things, because so many people are in a situation where, oh, I don't eat right, I don't exercise, I have negative emotions, and it seriously starts to impact your health when these things start closing in on each side. So this is why I formed AccuSmart. AccuSmart is designed to give you the tools that you need to help break out of this, make your health bigger and better and stronger so that you don't suffer from these symptoms like headaches, or I've got arthritis, or whatever, my abdominal pain, I have angina, whatever it is. There's, every symptom imaginable can be attributed to this. But if you're in a situation where you focus on all of these sides, hopefully equally, you'll be in a situation where this expands and you become healthier and healthier and healthier instead of sicker and sicker and sicker. I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening.